Hey, everybody. I'm Neal Brennan. I have a Netflix special called Blocks in which I go over my personal blocks, things that make me feel like something's wrong with me, something that makes me feel alone, isolated in the world. And then somebody had the idea, Jimmy Carr had the idea to have other people on a podcast where they tell me what their blocks are. They tell me what makes them feel crazy, isolated, alone in the world. We get vulnerable and people thank us for it. Bobby Lee is our guest today. I didn't say his name with any conviction. I said it weird because he's making weird faces that feel judgmental. But with Bobby, they might be judgmental. They might be totally about Bobby.
That's so crazy. Yes, you're right. It's about me. It's totally about me. But yes. I like it. I like your intro. Thank you for having me on. And I was texting you all day today, like, what's the address? What's the address? And you never texted me back. And then finally you did. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Text you back because I was recording a podcast with Ronnie Chang.
Yeah. He's high.
See, I would say that
Thank you.
You're in different categories, but I don't think he's higher than you.
No, he's not. He's not.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny, even that because I said that, it goes with the thing of my thing. So it's like when we get to that point, I'm going to tell you what it is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The thing that I do, you know?
You always feel like you're drowning socially.
Yeah, I'm a drowner.
But you're not.
I know. I'm like Michael Phelps with drowning.
Yes. Yes. You think you're drowning and you're winning medals.
I'm winning. Yeah.
Yeah. Once I realized you knew you were winning, it made it less fun to watch you drown. But I still enjoy watching you drown.
At one point, it was fun to watch me drown?
At some point, I thought you didn't know you were winning. And then I realized...
I've always won.
This is the
I'm a champion.
Secret Bobby that I love.
I'm a fucking champion.
Machiavellian, competitive Bobby who wants to... what I believe Whitney called us sore winners. Whitney Cummings said that you and I are sore winners.
I am, yeah.
You're winning, and you're still mad for when you were losing.
When you're winning, you can't say you're winning.
No.
Yeah, you have to pretend you're losing.
Yes.
Because as a comic, it's like if you're saying I'm killing it, it's weird.
Kevin Hart does it funny.
Yeah.
Where he's winning, and it's fun to watch him say he's winning.
Oh, right.
But he's 5'5".
Yeah,
can you imagine?
You can say that, yeah.
Can you imagine being that height?
Yeah, I'm 5'4".
Oh.
And he's not 5'5".
No, I'm saying, could you imagine being that tall?
I'm taller than him.
Are you taller than him?
Yeah, because I did a movie with him, and I stood by him, and I'm like this much.
That's got to feel pretty good.
And he's not 5'5".
He's 5'3".
5'3".
Now, you understand this podcast because you feel pretty crazy. You feel like something's wrong with you. You felt like something's wrong with you from probably your first conscious memories.
No, not that I thought there was something wrong with me. There was something wrong with the world.
And you thought it was the world?
No.
I'm saying I never thought it was. I thought the world was just kind of like harsh and unfair.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was born and I looked around my house and I go, this doesn't seem right. There's a lot of violence and things going on that like I'm scared. Why am I scared? And then you turn on the TV and you see the white people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All holding hands at the dinner table doing this.
Yeah.
I don't know what show that is, but yeah.
It was white people.
And I'm like, I'm like, I don't want that.
8 is enough. Remember 8 is enough?
I love 8 is enough.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was never like that. So I always knew, like, one time my dad, we were having dinner and he didn't like the noodle. You know what I mean? Like, because Asians are very particular about noodles.
Sure, of course.
I don't like this noodle. You know what I mean? And he took the table and he threw it up.
Do you know that anytime I see an Asian person get angry in public, I assume it's about noodles? So
right.
This is great.
It's either noodles or rice.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But those are the two things we're mad about.
Two categories.
Two categories.
Asians get mad about two things. Noodles or rice.
Yeah. And so he threw the food. And I remember like the noodles and the rice and everything, and the kimchi was stuck on the ceiling. Wow. And my mom was crying.
Yeah.
I was like 5.
Yeah.
Right? I couldn't eat dinner that night because it's up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I opened my mouth.
Yeah. Get a ladder, get on your brother's shoulders.
But then I was, and then I remember going to my room going, yeah, I don't want to be here.
I feel so, we've never talked about this.
Yeah.
That absolutely was my experience.
Yeah.
I remember watching a movie and it was like cool and black and white. And I was maybe 6 or 7. And I was like, this is so good and cool. And it was Dog Day Afternoon.
Oh, right.
And looking back, I'm like, why was I watching Dog Day Afternoon as a kid? And it's just because your whole point of view is warped.
yeah.
It's all warped from this fucking severe environment.
Yeah.
And then you end up liking harsh shit. And
my movie was Elephant Man.
Same exact.
I am not an animal.
Yes.
Right? I'm like, that's
you shouldn't
me.
like Elephant Man.
Yeah.
You shouldn't like it.
The girl doesn't like him. That's me.
Yes.
Because his face is all fucked.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in Minnesota, so I always thought like there was no other like Asians in my school. So it's just they used to throw snowballs at my head and go, Eskimo. You know what I mean? I should be running, crying. You know what I mean? And then I would go home and I would like experience what my dad, you know what I mean, was doing. And so it's like,
was your dad, do you remember him being crazy every day or just was it when he drank?
That's the problem though. If you could like figure out, like in November, he goes crazy.
Yes.
Right? So at November, I could just like not show up or be like, stay in my room. But it was so random.
It's the absolute lack of predictability and the arbitrariness of when you got hit, why you got hit, why you got shit thrown at you.
Yeah.
It was always going to be about noodles or rice, but it was.
Yeah. No, for him, with me, it was he would beat me for looking at him. Don't look at me. You know what I mean? In Korean, he would say that, and then he would hit me. And he was like guys like Ronnie Chang and other Asians, they go, our parents are strict. Like I have a friend named Gene. You know Gene Hong? He's a friend. He's Korean.
Yeah.
He's a writer. And Gene goes, my dad used to beat me with a ping pong paddle. My dad used to beat me with a ping pong table. Like he was extra. Like he was like the Korean Hulk, and he would just pick it up, smash you over my head. You know what I mean? Like he was crazy. And so it was just like survival. And I'm like really not violent at all. Like I'm like very sensitive.
Yeah.
and sensitive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just kind of like internalized everything, and I just kind of like I made jokes at school to survive, to make friends, and I was always in trouble. I did drugs at an early age, and that's how I survived.
What age?
I did
were
meth
you?
at 11.
Wow.
Yeah. Weed, meth, LSD, all that shit, 11, 12 in that time period.
And where did you do meth?
Oh, there was a kid that was skateboarding by my house, and he flipped a skateboard over, and he did a line of meth.
That's about the
And coolest. I just walked across the street, and I went, I didn't even know what it was. Like,
it's funny, but you just knew, like, I
go, whatever, if that's going to make me feel better, different than I am now, I want to do it. And then I would sneak into my dad's liquor cabinet, and also he was such an alcoholic that he would have a refrigerator in the garage.
Oh, my dad had that, yeah.
Yeah. And
just for beer?
Just for beer.
Yep.
Your dad had that?
Yep.
Yeah, and so my mom would stock it. And so I could just drink as much beer as I wanted, and no one would know, yeah.
And when did you realize, like...
Why is this like this podcast? It's getting deep, huh?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh.
You should watch my Netflixes. They're pretty deep.
Yeah.
And would you try to relate to other kids? Like, well, we're all going to get fucked up, and they'd be like, what are you talking about?
I found the crew.
Okay.
You find a crew, and then it's like... My crew is weird because I don't want to name names, but there was some homosexuality going on.
Homosexuality?
Homosexuality. Oh, how do you say it? Homosexuality.
Tell me more. What do you mean?
Yeah, and then you would get drunk at a party, and then like a friend of yours would go, "Hey, come and suck my dick behind this bush."
And do you think they were gay, or they were just weird at that age where it's like
middle school? I don't know, maybe. No, I don't think they're gay. No, right. But it was still like it seemed rapey.
Yeah. Well, then if it, you know what they say, if it seemed rapey, it's rapey.
Yeah. But it was like, but I'd say also, there was so much going on back then that it was just another thing. You know?
Also, do you remember childhood as all terror?
Well, it was mostly terror, but there was moments of relief.
Yeah.
And there was moments of levity, and there was moments of like, my dad would feel so guilty. He was like, let's go Disneyland.
Oh, so he did feel guilty.
Yeah, so we'd be like, oh, we're at Disneyland. This is cool, right? But then he would get drunk and then, you know what I mean, go hog wild again, you know? So it's like, he felt guilty. And it's so funny because when I graduated from high school, because he would, when I got on Mad TV, he was on sketches.
I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah. Like he did a sketch with me and Ike Barinholtz.
Yeah.
In a bathtub. And my dad had lines and everything.
Did they, was he your dad? Was he like, Bobby's
yeah, he played my dad.
Here.
Yeah. We would do sketches like, Ike visits my parents' house for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? And my actual parents would be in the scene.
That's wild.
It was wild. And my dad everyone loved him.
Yeah.
Your dad's so cool. He was so cool when I graduated from high school.
Oh, like he
changed so dramatically.
That's funny. So you think the stress of having kids was like too much for him?
No, I think what happened was one day when I was 16 years old, my dad, he used to take golf clubs and just hit my legs with it as hard as he could. And I remember I was on the wrestling team in high school, and I was so loaded. You know what I mean? That one day he picked up a golf club, and I went, you know what? I'm gonna pick up a golf club too, and we're gonna go. And we went at it. Like I hit
him the same size as you, around the same.
At that point, he was smaller. Right?
It's go time.
I hit him once in the ribs with a fucking 9-iron.
Like as hard as you could.
Like Tiger Woods style. It almost broke his ribs. And he dropped.
How did it not?
Yeah, he dropped his fucking golf club and just went into the room. He never touched me again.
Fuck. I wish I had that moment.
You never had that?
Because I had golf clubs.
You should have. Golf clubs are great.
I didn't know that we could use them against our dad.
Yeah, you can.
I was using them wrong.
You can.
I had so many golf clubs.
Yeah.
And it never occurred to me that I could
You can.
Fuck.
Yeah,
and that was the end of it.
Why didn't you? Because you thought that the consequences would be too severe?
Yeah. It was the idea of hitting my dad was impossible.
But did he hit you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
my brother
yourself.
One time, one of my brothers threw him. This is like the kind of guy my dad was. He went into my brother's room. My brother's probably 18 or 20 and tried to start a fight. And my brother, Peter, threw my dad into a closet, threugh the door onto the ground. And then my dad goes, "Picking on an old man, huh?" Which is
oh, that's fucking bullshit.
You fucking weirdo. You started the fight.
Yeah.
And then it's this weird gaslighty thing of picking on an old man.
Yeah.
So I think that got in my head and then I was like, well, now I can't hit him with a golf club. Now I have to just play golf.
Well, you can't randomly hit him one day at breakfast. I mean, but if he's attacking you, then you pick up the golf club.
Yeah, it just never got to that.
Wow.
You were in California or in Minnesota when this happened?
No, California then. Well,
it feels like a California move.
It's a California move. Yeah. It's not a Minnesota move.
No.
Yeah.
Midwest?
Ice pick.
Yeah,
That's
there
Minnesota.
you hit him with an ice pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skates.
Some
kind of skates.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
But luckily I got sober early.
How early?
I was a junior in high school.
What made you go to the treatment centers?
Oh, I got kicked out of school, and I was and I was just doing so much meth and weed and
the people are gonna think I'm crazy for that. I've heard a lot of good things about meth.
It's the best.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I had a girlfriend who had done meth, and she was like, "My teeth had never looked better, and all you do is fuck."
Yeah, you can't come though. That's a problem. Oh my god, because I was so young and I wasn't fucking then, but I would jerk off like crazy,
and you couldn't come.
It would take me 3 hours.
Yeah,
my dick would bleed literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, but eventually you get there.
Yeah,
but
it would come out as powder, right? Honestly,
I don't know.
Anyhow, go ahead, and then you'd snort that, and we'd start the whole thing again.
So that's funny. So then my senior year, I would go to AA meetings out in La Jolla, and then when I graduated from high school, I just moved to La Jolla, and I lived 2 blocks from the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
So that's how the comedy thing started.
When you're getting kicked out of schools and authorities are going and cops and weird, do you think this is a normal life, or do you know this is falling apart? I don't really understand it. Let's just see what happens.
No, the goal was death. I did not want to live. I would go to this cliff there was a little cliff, and I would stand there for days and go, should I jump? I mean, I didn't want to be here.
And what were the thoughts like?
Let's just do it. This is the day. Do it. And I don't know. It was just, I think the fear of the pain.
Right.
And then what if because it wasn't that high of a thing. I think I probably would have broken a leg.
Yeah.
Right. And then it'd be a call for, a cry for help.
Yeah.
Almost. Because I wanted to do, if I was going to do it, I wanted to do it. Like if I lived in San Francisco, I probably would have died. I would just got into the fucking Golden Gate.
To bridges.
Yeah. But I had no access to that. You know what I mean? So but I would just stand there and just go, should I just jump? Because I just hated it. You know.
Like you would wake up miserable, or was it like a negative tape in your head?
just that hole in your soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no future. And that's the thing. It's like, especially like in sophomore, junior, I would get my grades were terrible, so I knew college wasn't the thing.
Right.
And I don't know how I'm going to survive in the future. I have no skills whatsoever. So I was just like, oh, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I envisioned like maybe working at maybe at a Home Depot or something.
Yeah.
But that was like it. Which is not bad. If you work at Home Depot, that's a great job. I don't. Yeah. But
they shouldn't kill themselves.
What?
They shouldn't kill themselves.
No, they shouldn't kill themselves. That's a good job.
And then you got sober, and how long were you sober for that time?
Almost 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you moved here, started doing stand-up.
I relapsed when I was on Mad TV.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew that you did, but I didn't know that. And then you got sober again for
on my second year of the end of my second year of Mad TV. During that summer, I got sober again.
Okay, and then you were sober
17 years after that.
So you're making it longer. Next time will be 20, 21?
No, because I relapsed when my dad died, and then I only lasted like 9 months or whatever.
Oh, got it.
I relapsed again. And now I have a year next Wednesday.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
What do you fill the hole up with?
You're not going to like my answer.
I think I know what it is.
What is it?
Success.
No.
What? Don't say math. Do not say math.
No. In fact, success is, I call it a false god.
It is.
Because when you first, like when I was doing stand-up in my 20s, I remember going, oh, I don't need AA meetings because the applause of an audience feels like spirituality almost. Right? It kind of fills it, but it's like not real. Right? Because eventually it stops working. So the only thing you can do is go spiritual, right? It's like, every day I struggle with the concept of God, you know what I mean? Because you just look at the planet and the history of our planet, and you just kind of go, how could there be? But it's the only way I can do it. So
you thought I wouldn't like that answer.
God.
I believe in God now.
That's insane. You?
Yes. Did I not tell you about ayahuasca and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah, you did ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca and DMT.
Yeah. So you believe in God?
Belief's not even strong enough a word.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
I don't want to turn it into like a religion thing.
It's not.
That's why I don't
I'm
like
not
talking
religious.
about it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. It's so like, it's like I'm wearing a light blue shirt.
Yeah.
I'm so positive and not like, fuck you. I'm not it's not religious. It's just like, oh no, well, I had an experience on DMT where I was like near it.
Yeah.
And
people that have done that have said that. Yeah.
And I was fucked up for 6 months after it. It's a whole other story, but the bottom line is I've come out of it and I'm better, and I'm believing in God does make life better. And I don't mean it and I mean that in a non-religious way.
Yeah, me too. You don't have to know what it is. It's like, I like the mystery of the world.
Right.
When you look up at the sky and just the overwhelming, like, if you think about the concept of the universe and galaxies, and
it's incomprehensible.
It's incomprehensible.
Yeah.
Incomprehensible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, and I don't have to answer any of those things. I just have to believe, because if I don't, I'm fucking miserable, man.
Yeah. And it's
miserable.
something.
It's
something.
Yeah,
my experience was I dealt with a God and it was incomprehensible, like palpably, where I was actually I was drowning in incomprehensibility. It was like my brain was like it was like a computer fucking malfunctioning.
Yeah.
Like it was fucking crazy. So it does make it seem like I now believe that I'm a spirit in this vessel, which I never did before, even though I was an altar boy and went to church and all that shit. Like,
Ram Dass says that dying is like taking off a tight shoe. And when he said that, I was just like, okay, I just could get my head wrapped around that. You know what I mean? It's like a release, and you just kind of get your energy just kind of blends into everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
we become a thing that
it's not nothingness.
We can't understand as humans.
Understand it. Yeah.
But I would say that we morph into a different field or something.
But if somebody told me, my doctor told me that you're going to die in 3 weeks, I'd be petrified.
I'd be like,
I would be fucking petrified.
Oh,
I would just be like, whoa. Oh, I don't even know.
Well, that was part of my DMT thing. I was fucking petrified of what I experienced, and I was like, I don't want to go back there. I can't. And then I just slowly realized, like, No, you'll understand it when you're there.
You know, white dudes like you really just baffle me. You know, because you get girls, and it baffles me because you remind me of Crumb. Remember the artist Crumb from the '60s? But he got girls too.
You
So
talking about the documentary that I saw 4 times in the theater? That one? Crumb?
yeah,
Robert
from
Crumb?
San Francisco. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You're that type of white,
Skinny?
skinny and kind of like sickly looking.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Go
what I
on.
mean? And like, but very talented.
Mm-hmm.
But then like women like them. It's like fucking crazy.
You think women are attracted to just looks. Women are attracted to vibration and behavior.
That's what I'm learning from you.
Thank you.
Anyway, let's move on.
Hey, this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. They're back because they know that my listeners and viewers are in real emotional trouble, which is why they watch this podcast in the first place. They want to see professional comedians also in trouble. We're not in trouble. We're just being honest about our inner lives. And that's what BetterHelp can help you with. You go into BetterHelp. I just did it because I wanted to see what the hell I've been on it before, but it had been a while. They ask you a lot of information, and then they will pair you with a therapist that's appropriate for you based on your goals, based on your background, based on your various orientations, religious, sexual. So go on there and you can get better. I'm living proof that therapy can make you better. And there's different kinds of therapy. There's cognitive behavioral therapy. There's Freudian. There's Jungian. There's so many different kinds of therapy. You don't have to stick with one. What I'm trying to say is if you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/Neal today to get 10% off your first month. That's BETTERHELP.com/NEAL. Do it today. Promise you can feel better. I promise. I promise. Look at me. Picture of health. Anyhow, that's the macro block. What we've talked about is your sobriety. And I'm happy that you're sober. And I'm happy that you're not even considering hurting yourself in any way.
No, dude, my life right now is unbelievable.
And is it because of your achievements or because of your spiritual practices?
It's a combination of a bunch of things. It's like because I think I'm at a new level when it comes to my sobriety of what I want to do. And I'm just really into it right now. And then also secondly, I want to learn, I want to grow, and I'm open. And also secondly, yeah, my career is going really, it's never been better. And I don't know, I've never been here.
I really like that you're allowing yourself to enjoy it. Because I had Santino here and he was like, I said you don't enjoy it enough.
Who doesn't?
Andrew.
Andrew doesn't enjoy his or mine?
His.
Yeah, he doesn't enjoy his.
He hates yours.
He hates mine.
But he really doesn't enjoy his enough at all. And I'm glad that you realized, because I had the thought the other day about myself. I was like, this is a very good period of my life. Like, it's a good period of my life. But the best part is that I can acknowledge it, which I never could.
But it has to do with age as well.
I agree.
Right? It's like in the 20s, you're just struggling.
Yeah.
I was struggling. I had no money. You know what I mean? Forget women. I mean, that wasn't even in my fucking... I was out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, how am I going to survive? In my 30s, like, okay, right? In my 40s, it got better. But now it's just like, I got everything I kind of wanted. But it took that long.
Yes.
It just took fucking forever.
Well, it takes forever to get everything lined up.
That's
like,
right.
in that where you can be like, okay, that's good. Okay, let me do this now. Okay, that's good. That's still, okay, let me do the other. And it's so hard to get them all lined up because you think you can, and maybe we're right. We could only do one at a time. Do you know what I mean? Like you kind of have to focus on your career at a certain point. You kind of have to.
Yeah. But it's also things caught up to us, like technology too. Kind of like, was a new concept thing.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? That I was able to take, all these things happened. And so it's just like really cool. But
you're a techno comic.
Fuck you,
I just wanted to say that because I knew it would hurt your feelings.
Dude, today, I woke up, I looked into my house, and half of my furniture is gone. Because she's moving out today.
Wow.
And there was a feeling of sadness, a real deep sadness.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, I was living with Kalila for 10 years. And we've been broken up for about 6-7 months.
Yep.
And I don't know, this is the first time where I'm just kind of like, oh, this is real.
Yeah.
I'm alone. And I had a loud house. Like I would wake up and there would be people in the living room,
Yeah.
laughter, joy, and all this stuff. And I don't know, man.
You don't like being alone too much?
Well, I haven't done it in so long that
Yeah.
like I'm just sort of readjusting to it all. I don't know if this is real or not, but I honestly don't believe that I'll ever be in another thing again.
Did you ever hear Larry David used to drive when he was a cab driver?
No.
In New York. It's like 2 years ago. No, it was 40 years ago. When he driving in New York, and he's like, when I would drop someone off, I would think I'm never gonna get another fare. Which is like
really? That's so crazy.
He would think like one's ever gonna hail me again.
That's our thinking.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I don't want to though. That's the thing. I look at certain guys like Pauly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And Spade maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, oh, that, you know what I mean? That could be a lifestyle that I could get used to.
To some people, it's a cautionary tale, honestly.
It is a cautionary tale. Yeah.
To some people, but I'm with you in that there are times where I think about how I feel by myself and I think about how I feel with somebody. And sometimes I think that being with somebody is significantly more stressful to me than being by myself. Because the expectations of when I'm by myself are nil. They don't exist, right?
Yeah.
And the expectations when you're with somebody is like you have to behave a certain way. And it's hard and it can be gratifying.
I refuse to compromise. No more. Oh, we ate steak last night. Let's go to this vegan place. Before it's like, okay, I'll eat that. Not anymore. Have fun. I'm going to Morton's again. Yep. That's where I'm at now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Oh, hey, we saw that scary movie last night. Let's watch this fucking romantic. No, fuck yourself. I'm watching the scary movie again. I'm not doing any of it. Go to my friend's wedding. Go fuck yourself. I'm not going.
Brunch.
I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do brunch.
I'm with you. It can be, and I don't know if it's a personality type or if most people, their fear of loneliness is greater than their reluctance to compromise. I think, I know. I don't
know. You're right.
It'll change.
You're right. I don't know. This is the first day, so I don't know. It might change. Who knows? I might meet, the one.
Right.
Who knows? You know what I mean? But this time I'm going to probably go white. That's my next venture.
Tell me more.
I'll tell you why. Before I used to, when I would get a white, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was
I don't like your tone. Go ahead.
Excuse me?
I didn't like your tone on get a white.
That's what people are.
I get it.
You're a white.
It didn't have the respect that I think white people have.
No, you
deserved.
no longer
talk about world history.
No, you no longer get that.
We
from me.
Put up numbers in science.
Killed it.
Math.
Killed it. Electricity. Thank you.
Wi-Fi.
I don't know about Wi-Fi.
We had to be involved.
I know, but some Asians were involved as well.
NASA. Space program.
Right.
I mean, again,
but can I just say this though?
Yep. Any Southeast Asians, are they rocketing themselves? Because I know a few whites off the top of my head that are just built to rocket themselves to go out to kick it. Space kicking.
I understand that.
Go ahead.
But it's white people's like desire to like get away from all the ethnics.
I mean, it doesn't. I'll tell you what.
The whites are great, and I'm a big fan of your guys.
Thank you.
People, right? So when I was younger and I would get a white, it would be like a trophy, right? Because especially back, like now, like Ronnie Chang, like he's married, but he could get a white easily. Yeah. Like for Asian guys, but back in the 80s and 90s, it was like a. I was. Oh my god! I deserve a statue.
For the amount of whites you got?
The amount of whites I got when we weren't supposed to get them, I should get a fucking statue with my little dick and just doing this or whatever. Like, imagine that. You know what I mean?
This is the statue.
Yeah. Like, just like this. You know what I mean? With my dick and like in,
Yeah.
Yeah.
My face is telling you something else, but yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Also, this would be my, like, if there was ever a nuclear bomb, this would be my nuclear shadow.
Great.
Have you thought about your nuclear
What
shadow?
are you doing?
I don't know, but if they said a fucking atomic bomb's gonna hit it, I would do something great like this.
It is interesting. It's you know
so
what mine would be?
100 years from, they see my shadow and they go, "What was that guy doing?"
I'd probably dab.
Yeah.
Now, I
That'd be
would like
funny.
to give you credit for that.
What?
I saw a clip where you dabbed and said that you saw it on Ellen.
Yeah, I did see
And
that.
I had the thought, Bobby is very funny.
Thank you.
Yep.
Let's move on with the whites. So anyway, and then before it was like a trophy thing, but now it's like I kind of want to like, I did the Asian thing, I did the Mexican thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to try something like, I want to go back to the white.
I'm with you.
Or Korean, full Korean, not half.
Why full?
There's a smell.
For real?
100%. There's a smell they have that I relate to.
I love the things that you can't say. I couldn't say that. I wouldn't even write it in an app on my phone that full Koreans have a smell.
No,
I wouldn't even. I don't even like saying it back to you. Is how uncomfortable I am.
Can I ask? Let me ask you something. So that means that you've been with a full Korean, and you smelled something.
I don't know if I have. Paul, I don't know if I have been with a full Korean. They could tell me that.
Yeah.
Who am I?
I think you have.
I'm not going to be like, turn around. You're not full.
It's not an asshole smell.
No, it's not. No, I'm talking about like spin
it's not
for
a
me.
negative smell.
No. Yeah.
It's either a pheromone.
It's like
it's
in
a
the
pheromone
neck.
thing. It kind of reminds me of like lychee fruit and dirt.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a combination between the two. It's great.
Great.
And when I smell
and
it,
only they have it.
Only Koreans have it. And when I smell it,
was your mom full Korean?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, I'm seeing a connection.
Full Korean.
Great.
There's nothing. Well, I did 23andMe, and I'm 10% Japanese, but don't tell anybody.
I won't.
There's a lot of shame in my life.
Great. Who did what to who? Do we know?
I don't know, but in the history, something happened.
Something great.
Yeah, maybe there's a rape.
Oh, I thought all Asian people were just very equal, and they were just worried about white invaders, but all Asian people were very cool to each other.
No.
Am I misunderstanding history?
Totally
I thought the rape of Nanking was white people. Is that not? Was it? I'm sorry. Was it Chinese and Japanese going after it? Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry. Anyhow.
Anyway, so that's my next one. White.
Great. I made a joke about dating Asian women, and what's funny is it's weirdly like a beacon for other Asian women, where they're like, "I heard you like Asian women."
Yeah,
and then that's their opener.
Yeah, Asian women love the whites too. You know what I mean? And it's like, it sucked back in the day because it's like, Asian women were always looked at as like, exotic and like the thing that white men loved, right? But it was never like you guys never exchanged your white women for them, so we ended up having nothing.
It was very unfair.
So thanks for the nothing.
And I used to do a joke about it. I've never been in a club and been like, "Fuck, the Asian guys are here."
But now you can.
Dude, I mean, you'd be surprised. I'm still not.
No,
look,
you'd be so fucking surprised.
If you
I
and
can't
Ronnie
believe what I'm doing right now.
The numbers you're putting up.
I mean, I don't want to say that it's cocky,
right.
but I'm just saying that
totally confidential.
It's a completely different time period.
The way you just hit that P, the way you hit that P was unbelievable.
What?
The way you just hit that P was never unheard of. I'm happy to have you, and I'll see you out there.
Oh yeah, okay.
See you on
you'll see me too, dude.
White Woman Mountain.
Yeah.
See you out there. And I like all kinds of women. As
me too.
It's not like
let's move on.
All right,
let's go to our list.
Let's go to our actual
I thought I had a list
you made a
of
list.
things.
Yeah. All right. Number 1, not good at confrontation.
Hate it.
I will say I found that this is a through line with a lot of comedians in that the job description is kind of, we get in these situations, we are furious, but we don't say anything, and then we take it out in the comedy.
Yeah, I take it out in podcasting and in comedy, and I also like to talk about people behind their backs. But when it comes to one-on-one, I'm a coward.
Yes.
Like, I heard you said this about me. No, I didn't. Here's the recording. No. No. You know what I mean?
You get, and you seem to get very Korean.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, because when I get scared, my accent comes out.
Yeah.
Like Aries Spears. Oh my God. So I would talk mad shit about him. Because we had some experiences together, right? Then when I saw him, it was fucking scary, dude.
He'd heard about it?
He had saved all of it.
From where?
From this random podcast. He had evidence. So he came up to us, yo, man, you're talking mad shit about me. I go, no, I love you. He's like, listen.
And he said, let's go to a clip.
Yeah.
And it projected onto the wall, all the shit. That's
basically, yeah. That was terrifying.
Did he hire an editor, do you think, or he did it himself?
I don't know, but it made him that mad.
That would make me mad.
What?
If you talk shit about me on podcast.
I'm not talking shit.
No, about me.
I do talk shit about you.
Oh, about Aries.
I don't, wait, listen.
You just said you talk shit about me.
Listen, okay? I don't talk shit, okay, my friend? All right? I tell stories, okay, about you.
Me, Neal Brennan, or Aries? The proverbial Neal Brennan, the proverbial.
Right?
Right.
So I've said things about you. A lot of it wasn't true, but in my mind it was. And we've worked it out over the time. But my point is that's another problem of mine, is I have this assumption that people, like, even in conversations, I'll take, subtext or whatever, and I'll you know what I mean?
You write fan fiction about people. You write science fiction about interactions you've had.
Yeah, because growing up as a trauma kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just make
trauma boys. That's what they call it.
The trauma boys, right?
With a Z.
So I would always have to read my dad. You know what I mean? And
my
mom, right? And that just kind of spilled out into like other social things.
Where you're doing it, every interaction there's hostility, there's potential for violence.
Exactly. Or when I walk into a restaurant, like, people, if I'm on a date, they're like, what are you doing? I go, I got to find where all the exits are. So I'll roam around the fucking restaurant and look.
You do that right now?
Like, in this building, I did it. I walked into this building. I like, okay,
you do a sweep.
I do a sweep, yeah. And I don't know why I do it. I mean, I know why, but it's like, it's safety.
You want a clear space to do your nuclear TikTok celebration? Or your Fortnite celebration? That's
no, but it's like if there's like, an aurora, why'd you
I don't know, aurora. I literally, when a shooting.
Yeah, at the movie theater, aurora.
Yeah. It's been like a while, but yeah.
Yeah, but there was a Colorado movie.
Yeah, of course.
Movie.
You're the kid out of orange hair.
Yeah, no, I'm not the kid. I'm the victims.
I get it. I know you were.
So when I walk into a movie theater, I do it. I go, because of aurora, I go, there's exit. I can go up this stairs, these stairs. And I have it planned out before the movie starts.
Do you have a tidal wave exit plan?
Yeah.
What is it?
A tidal wave?
Like a huge wave hits LA.
Yeah, so I was in Hawaii once.
Mm-hmm.
And this is so fucking fucked up. I was in Hawaii once by myself, and they slid a fucking paper underneath my door.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up, and it said, tsunami coming, right? And then all of a sudden, I heard these sirens. And I was the
first floor are you on?
I was on the second floor. I was the first guy on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Like, people got up there 20 minutes later. I'm like, yeah. I've been up here.
Yeah,
I had a fucking scuba thing. I had the whole scuba thing and my wetsuit on. I was fucking ready, dude.
That's exciting.
And it never came. But I stayed up there for 8 more hours just in case.
Because you had to.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm that guy. I prepare.
And all right, so that's your tsunami, and you've lived it. You had a tsunami warning.
A tsunami warning.
And you got the flippers, and you had the
flippers, the wetsuit, the fucking snorkel, goggles, the whole thing.
Yep.
I had a Bible.
Great.
Right? I had my cigarettes, even though, like, I know. I was smoked back then.
So but that's not going to do great in a... Although I would be funny to see one of those videos of a guy floating in a huge river with his head stuck out.
Yeah.
Like a fucking mechanic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So, like, in every scenario, like, if there's tornadoes, I would have one, different things,
What's your tornado?
Well, I only know based on Twister, the movie.
Bill
Paxton and Helen
Hunt,
the
wetsuit and the mouthpiece wasn't well researched?
I know. I make probably faulty assumptions of what to do, right?
Yeah.
But still, I need to do it. So in Twister, right? Remember, they latched themselves out in like a fire hydrant or whatever. So I looked at fire, like if I'm in Oklahoma, I go, "Where's the fire hydrants?"
Oh, interesting. Here's a good question.
What?
Do you have a mass shooter plan? I've done this.
Oh yeah, I do.
Different comedians come to the store with a gun and are shooting people. What's your plan?
Not only that, I know I already have a list of people who might.
I absolutely do.
That's
I bet
the
if
thing.
we
And I can't tell you who they are.
No, I don't.
But I have a short list of people, right? So whenever I'm on the lineup with them, it's here already.
Are you gonna bargain with them? Are you gonna hit them with like, come on, man? We worked.
There's three guys that there's nothing I had. There's 3 guys, right?
You're getting popped.
I'm dead. There's 3 guys. I know I'm just dead. There's nothing I can say. Money, there's nothing. You know what I mean? So
I hadn't even thought about bribing people.
Yeah.
I might have to tell somebody I'll do a sketch show with them.
I'll be a showrunner.
Yeah,
I'll be a showrunner for your sketch show. Yeah,
no, come on. We got to get through this.
Yeah.
I'll do 6 episodes up front.
Yeah. But I have that list, and I know the comics. In fact, tonight there's one guy on the lineup. I can't tell you who it is.
Wow.
Who could be a shooter. So I am. I'm
That's
at the store. I
interesting.
say hi, but I am. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Super nice.
Yeah, of course.
Great set, even though I didn't see it.
You didn't see
Great
it.
set, man. You
Yeah.
know? Good job. You can be a star.
I'm with you in terms of prepping. I don't do sweeps, but I'm definitely thought through a tsunami plan. I'm going to until I heard your water wings and all that stuff you had, it's much better than what I got. I'm just going up the phone poles. That was my thing.
No.
That's
the
electrical
worst one.
poles?
No, because a car will, because of the tsunami,
if you remember, was it Bali? Or no, it's Phuket. The poles, in all the video, poles are still intact.
A lot of poles went down.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of poles went down, right? Because you're watching just video.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of poles went down, okay? And if you're up there and a pole goes down, you not only are you going to drown, but you're falling. Just do one or the other, fall or drown.
It does look a little fun, though. That like
That is
river,
true. That is true.
that like huge river, and you jump in and like, and you got your cigarette.
Yeah.
You
That
know
would
what I
be
mean?
horrifying.
It's unimaginable.
But it's because it's not the water that kills you, it's the debris.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, wear a helmet. Not a wetsuit, but you have like a neck brace, the whole thing. And then maybe you can like dodge a car. I don't know.
No, it's hard.
It's
the
hard,
Japanese one where the cars went over the
Japanese, that was a great tsunami.
You know what was great about it? The shot it's one of my favorite shots of life.
Yeah.
House moving in the water, getting dragged away by water, on fire. It's an unbelievable shot.
I just thought of something sad. So after that tsunami in Japan,
some
guy set up a magical phone booth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a phone booth that's not like attached to anything, like it doesn't work, right? But he put a recording device in that would record, and people that lost their families in the tsunami would call that phone and talk to their loved ones.
It's wild.
They would go like, Cindy, not Cindy. That's not a Japanese name, is it?
It's like when they come to America.
Yeah. But in Japan, like Toko, I'll just say Toko.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Toko's doing great. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's got straight A's and this and that. Like a man talking to his wife on the phone.
Yeah.
It's super sad, man.
Where are you with? Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah. You want to do the next
not
one?
good at confrontation. Yeah. So there's nothing. And have you developed a plan to get better at it, or are you just hoping you don't get caught?
Well, I'm on medication. That helps.
Mm-hmm. What are you on?
Riddled.
Great.
And then also,
you like it?
I love it.
Great.
Secondly, I also need to do boundaries. And I think that's what fucked up my relationship with Kalila. We never fought. I just absorbed everything.
But there were resentments.
Building, yeah. And it was like, she's a hot chick. I don't want her to leave.
Right.
So I would just absorb all this stuff, right? Resentment. And it just gets to the point where there's nothing you can do with it except you become miserable.
It's in every conversation.
Yeah.
If you don't clear it,
you
literally bring it.
So I can't afford to do that anymore. So I'm learning to do all that. Go, hey, what you just said to me really hurt my feelings, or this is how I feel about. You know what I mean?
It's hard.
It's so hard. Yeah.
When I first started going to a 12-step meeting about codependence, I would, if I was going to talk to somebody on the phone, I'd have literally I'd bullet point the things I wanted to say.
Wow.
When I called them. This is back when we used to call people on the phone.
Yeah.
But you have to, because otherwise you get caught up in the swirl of their counter argument, and then you're fucked.
Yeah.
It's a very hard thing to do, is ask for what you want. It's hard to know what you want.
Yeah, but I think your new, you know what I mean, idea of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe can't we just incorporate that? That like, I believe that I wouldn't change anything of my past because I feel like it all led me to this moment in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I love my life, right? So it's like, and I have to believe that all that stuff in my head, and it could be wrong, happened all the way it was supposed to happen and for a reason, and I tried to make the most healthiest choices for myself, you know what I mean? So from this moment onward, I have to believe that as well, that like things are just going to happen. I'm going to meet the right person. Do you ever feel that way or no? Or do
Well,
you think it's
no,
just like
no,
random
no. When you
events?
I don't think it's random events because my thing is like I've had an incredibly fortunate life, right?
Amazing.
And but there are times where I wonder when you look at like the hard parts or you look at the downs, whatever, the difficult chapter, whatever, and you go, why did that happen?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to make of that?
Yeah.
That's the part I have a hard time with. The thing about a belief in God that I like is it does make me feel like whatever happens in my life is okay. Meaning if I end up with somebody, great. If I don't end up with somebody, also great.
Yeah.
And not even because like God's somewhere and loves me. My experience of God was not even loving or venomous, or it was just like it was like dealing with like a super duper 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 power. So it was not even like,
Mm,
oh, and we have a relationship. I didn't have any sort of relationship with the thing I experienced.
right. But do you have
So
one now?
no, I mean, no, not in that I don't pray to it. I just think that there's a energetic field that I can go to through meditation or prayer, whatever you want to call it, that I don't really understand what's going on. And even just talking about it 15 seconds ago, I felt like
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying.
like I felt like and my energy shifted a little bit where I was like, am I about to pass out just for like a split second?
Yeah.
So
Do you believe in manifestation?
are you asking me, do I listen to Joe Dispenza and do the manifestation thing almost daily? No. No. I mean, I believe in yeah, I guess the short answer would be yes.
Okay.
The Joe Dispenza thing was a joke because I do listen to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you believe in manifestation?
Yeah. Let's move on. Next one.
So you're not good at confrontation. You're addicted to tragedy porn. Tell me about that.
Are you?
Tragedy porn?
Yeah.
No. I don't even know define it for me. Like tsunami shit? People fucking in tsunamis?
That's part of it. Like, here's what I'll. This is gonna sound so sick, dude.
I love it.
I know, but I don't know if people.
Nah, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just worry about what I like.
Okay. All right. So, what I'll do is I'll Google, like, I'll be on YouTube and
Mhm.
I'll go, Sandy Hook, the day it happened, like news stories,
Mhm.
right? And I'll see the buildup of like newscasters getting the information for the first time and the shock and horror, and then I'll start crying. And I'll do that with 9/11. I'll do that with like the Korean ferry boat that drowned in Korea that killed a bunch of high school kids.
Mhm.
And I'll do that to cry and to feel things and to feel empathy.
I thought it was like porn. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, I watch things over and over again. I'll do it with also The Voice or American Idol.
Like when someone gets eliminated?
No. I do that.
The tragedy of the elimination.
No,
right?
I do that with positive things like when they
Right, when someone
the
tells
judge
their life
you have
story."
the talent, and I'll watch it, but I'll watch it for 3 hours, the same thing over and over again.
The same
Same clip over and over again. I just have this obsession with it, and I do that with a lot of things.
That's because I have a weird thing where I get very touched by people's dreams come true like that.
Yeah, me too.
Like very touched. I'm like I watch it on a loop like a maniac. But I like it. It like makes me tear up in a way that surprises me.
Yeah, but I haven't done it since I've been on medication though.
Interesting.
I don't touch things 3 times anymore. I listen to everyone says. It's weird.
Is it better?
It's 1,000 times better.
Pre-Riddling you, was it a bit of a prison? It feels.
It wasn't a prison. I just had to do something.
It feels like kind of torturous. Like
maybe. I mean, I could like. It's so funny because I run into comics now at the comedy store, and people I'm not really that friends with, but I'll have conversations, and people like will literally go, "Wow, that's weird." In the middle of the conversation, I go, "What? You're still here."
My logo for you isn't that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just darting from thing to thing, like darting in the like in the parking lot. Never leaving the parking lot until you get in a Prius.
Yeah, go pew, 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 pew. Yeah.
Like just ping, 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 and then you get in the Prius and go. Now I would
leave
anymore.
a conversation mid the sentence.
Absolutely.
Hey, my grandfather, and I just walk away.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Died.
Yeah.
I don't even hear that part.
That was like par for the course.
But now, I listen to.
I said par for the course because I know you understand golf.
Golf
as
language.
a metaphor for violence.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's really. You're a thinker. Very good mind.
It's probably too long a callback, but is there such a thing?
Yeah. The medication has for some reason, those things it's corrected itself in a weird. I mean, Tom Cruise would hate that I'm doing it, but
we can't worry about that.
I can't worry about Tom Cruise and Scientology.
Not anymore. Do you? That's the Japanese woman. She call her on the ghost phone. Do you?
Okay, guy, that's funny. Another callback.
It's too subtle. And what? All right. So you stopped doing the tragedy porn.
Yeah. I stopped doing it.
So the 9/11, like Regis and Kathy Lee, when the planes were hitting, and they're like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And you hear like screaming.
Yeah. Or I'll watch like videos of people watching it happen on the streets,
right?
And them crying. Like there was one where this old man is crying.
Yeah.
And he's not even like a New Yorker. He looks like he's from the country and he was just visiting.
Yeah.
And he looked like so American, like an Americana, right? And he had like one tear. You know how the native guy on the horse had it when they used to litter? You know what I mean? But he had one tear, and it was like, I used to weep over that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I do cry, though, when we have comedy deaths. When comics died, those are the only times I've cried.
Who? Let's go. Who'd you cry for? Who didn't you cry? I'm kidding.
Brody was.
I bet.
It was. I was unconsolable. Jack Knight.
Yeah.
It was very, very hard. Saget and Louis.
I was kidding.
Oh fuck. I didn't know. My bad.
Well, because I don't want to leave people out. Like, nope, didn't get me.
Oh, that's true. But there's just so many. I could rattle off everyone.
No, of course. Saget was a weird one because it was like, somebody made the observation, Saget affected comedians more than we thought because he loved being a comedian. And that was like when he died.
Norm was hard.
Yeah, Norm was
hard.
Shocking.
But I talked to Bob's
wife.
Fiance, wife 3 nights ago, and we talked for a little bit.
You guys are dating, right?
No.
Look.
Anyway, next thing. Let's go to we did tragedy porn. What's the next?
Riddled with fear.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm riddled with fear. It's like the other night I went up after Todd Barry and Sarah Silverman. You were before them.
I was before them, yeah.
And then as soon as I hit the stage, they just leave.
That was late.
I know. I understand that. Yeah. And there could be a zillion reasons why they left.
Yes.
Right. But I always go to the negative part.
Well, I've noticed that in you.
Yeah.
Theo does a similar thing.
That's why we get along.
You guys will be crushing to the point where I'll be in the back going like, I can't follow this. And then the last 90 seconds, you guys, it'll seem like you lose interest.
Yeah.
And like you're in a bad relationship with the audience.
So funny.
And I'm like, what's happening? I mean, it benefits me because it just makes it easier to follow you guys. But I'm like, what's happening here? Can you explain it to me from your point of view?
I honestly, it's so funny that you bring that up because,
by the way, most people refreshed their YouTube link just now because you froze so perfectly for 4 seconds. There was no sound. It was one of the best things I've ever seen.
So you think that
they were like, it's like it was like the end of The Sopranos where it went to black. You just froze.
I'm sorry.
So completely.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Because it was such a valid thing, and I had to really process.
I loved it.
Yeah.
We all loved it. They're all grateful for it.
Yeah, it's so funny because I did it last night, where I was crushing, and in the last 45 seconds, I don't know what happened, but like I said goodnight, and it got so weird. People barely clapped, but I was crushing. Like would have ended it when I was crushing.
Yeah.
But I always have to kind of go, all right, let's make it weird now and uncomfortable. I don't know what it is. It's something I have to go to therapy for, I think. You just brought that up. It's just weird.
But I've noticed it for years where you get off, like, we all, like, say hello. Like, we bring each other up at the Comedy Store and we'll, like, say something on the way. Usually it's like, hey, buddy, or whatever. But sometimes you'll be like, so it's horrible. Or you always think you bomb and you never do.
Yeah, I always feel like people don't like me. But it's so funny because it's like, I mean, I'm going to, like, if I go on the road, you know what I mean? Like, and I sell out as soon as it's out, you know what I mean? I'm not bragging. I just, you know what I mean? And
by the way, you earned it. It's not
people
like
wait in line. They love it. You know what I mean? And
do you relate to it? When you see your name on the thing and
I can't even look.
I
can't even look. Like in San Jose, you know what I mean? How you can go, you're the green room's upstairs.
Yeah.
And you can look down for the line for the second show and it wraps around the fucking thing.
Yes.
Some people go look, and I go, I what are they doing out there?
I don't even understand what's happening.
I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah. Like what?
Yeah.
They came here?
Yeah. Like, does Kevin Hart on the show?
Yeah.
In my mind, you know what I mean? And then they stay and they wait in line. They want to meet me. It's like, I don't know what's going on, but
it would be weirder if we were like, I get it.
But with the Theo thing, because I've seen him do the same thing too.
Yeah. Where you're like,
and him and I together used to see us together. Oh, it's great.
On the same show?
No, just in a car. If Theo and I are in a car, it's like, yeah, man, I know. We don't even say anything. We just say that.
Do you guys think you bombed with each other in the car?
Oh yeah. And we sold a show, right? So like we're on like a Zoom.
I wrote a spec about it. I know about it. I wrote the spec. We read it on Tiger Belly.
Dude, that thing was so rude.
Yeah.
I'm a narcissist. You know what my favorite part of self-doubt is? The self part. That thing was so fun, brutally funny.
Yep.
And so and it's like, if you would have done that, check out Tiger Belly, the last one with Neal on. He did a script between me and Theo, like a spec script. If you would have done that 3 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, when we didn't know each other that well, oh my God, I think we'd go to blows. But
somebody said that you wanted to hit me.
No. But now that you did that, then I'm like, it felt like an homage, and that you know me.
Yeah.
And it felt so good.
Yeah.
All right.
But I always really like you. I've always really liked you.
You know what? Let me do compliments to you then.
I think you're so funny.
I love you.
But no, I appreciate it. I think you're so fucking funny and so unique.
Thank you.
And such an original fucking human being. That's why
I don't know.
When you had a podcast, you didn't invite me. I was like, I fucking love this guy. So, like, I respect him.
Oh my God! Don't even fucking do that right now, dude.
I'm not gonna do it.
Don't even fucking.
I'm gonna
stop. Can I just say something, right?
Yeah.
Let me say something right now. All right. After we had you on the first time, there was a general consensus among the people I work with. Like, why didn't we do that earlier? That guy is so good. You're so good at. But can I say something? You've improved your skills as a podcaster as well.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
You
understand it.
I agree with you.
Yeah. And anytime you ever wanted to do any of our podcasts, at any moment, I would fucking cancel other people to have you on.
Fantastic. Now, you also understand, as a sore winner.
Don't do this.
No.
Whatever you're doing, don't do it.
I was going to suck your dick.
No,
but I guess I won't.
You'll never suck my dick.
I won't.
No, my point is don't do this because I know, because it's so funny. Before were on the first time, for about 6 months, probably, you know what I mean? You would bring it up every time.
Yeah.
And I could feel you were getting angry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wasn't a personal thing.
Well, this is the hard part of our jobs. Can
I say something you did that made me mad?
Yeah,
and you know what? I always thought that I would never bring this up because you brought this up. When I was at Montreal 3 years ago, you were talking to Robbie from Netflix, and you didn't say hi to me that well.
That well?
You were very standoffish with me.
I'll tell you why.
In my head, I don't think Robbie likes me. And so I needed you to be like, oh my God, it's Bobby Lee. And you didn't do it. And then I couldn't sleep that night.
I'm very sorry about that.
I'm sorry for not having you on my podcast for so long.
And I'm sorry that, and I knew there was a reason, and that has a lot to do with it. And you can blame it on talent, but most things that we blame on.
I'm talented.
No, I'm not. You were saying that I've gotten better. Most of the things that we say it's almost always personal. It's a little slight, it's a micro slight, right? And you and I speak micro aggression, subtlety. It's all subtext. There's almost no text. It's all subtext. So I figured there was a reason, and I'm happy to hear what it was. And I could tell you probably, I don't remember the specifics, but I knew that you were insecure about Robbie and Netflix, and I knew that it was a thing for you. So I was trying to like usher it along so that you didn't get stuck in it.
That's interesting. Never thought of it that way. But I no longer have that insecurity.
Yeah. Well, I will say, and I've said this before, it's embarrassing how much success does help.
Yeah. It's weird, yeah.
It's embarrassing because it shouldn't. You hope it's like, no, I'm just a person that's separate. It's all integrated. And it's all like...
Well, don't you think that that's the case for... I mean, that's
everything.
Person I know. Yes.
Yeah.
I've known people that were like kind of poor and open micers, and then they get success, and I haven't seen them in 3 years. They're just acting the same, right? But then I just perceive like there's just an air about them, and it's just because of things that I know that they're doing well.
Yeah. But there's a perception thing, but there's also the thing from your point of view. You've succeeded to the point where the voices in your head have lost credibility.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, where it's like, all right, voice in my head, you're fucking
It doesn't make any
dumb.
sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
but it used to make sense to you, probably a
there
little
was
bit.
times like when you didn't cast me in your movie.
The Jeremy Piven, The Goods movie, a hit movie. A huge movie. Dr. Ken was cast in it.
I'm kidding. I love Dr. Ken. I love Ronnie Chung. I love Jimmy Yang. I love Anli Wong. I love Aquafina. I love all the Asians. We're all one happy family. That's a good way to end. Is there another one? Or is that the last one?
No, I think that was the last one.
How long do these go usually?
Yeah, around this.
How'd it go so far?
It's great. I'm very happy with this. You were great because you were forthcoming.
Okay.
Santino was on here and similarly emo. And people were like shocked by it. I didn't know that he's not like that with other people.
He's like that. He's not like that. He's like that with me personally.
On the pod, though.
Not on the pod. No.
Right. He was on the pod and he was personal. So
I like this because it was like, a lot of times when you're doing like these other pods, you just have this like not pressure, but like this like the cadence and the timing has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
The energy. But with this, it felt a lot more like, you know what I mean? We're talking.
Yeah.
And I could go longer, you know what I mean? Because this is like, I've also discovered things about myself during this last hour that I've never really kind of thought about. And like that thing about at the end of my set, like, why do I do that? So it's just something that I can like bring to my therapist and go, this is what I do. Why do you think I do this?
Well, it's probably a level of discomfort with success.
Yeah. But I've learned a lot. And listen, dude, I honestly really do love you, man.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I respect you. I think you're one of the best. And thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming, bro. I tell you what, if you shoot up the Comedy Store.
Honestly, would I be on your list?
Of people that I'm gonna pop?
No, one of the guys that would shoot up a place.
No.
That's so unlike me, right?
It's way too confrontational. Way too confrontational.
Yeah, that's right. I don't like confrontation.
You would sooner like commit suicide.
Yeah.
And leave a very long passive aggressive note.
Oh no, that's not what I would do.
What would you do?
Everyone gets one.
Fuck.
What do you think? I'm gonna just do a general passive aggressive note? No. Neal Brennan will.
You're absolutely
Neal,
right.
It'd be a 5-page.
You could be. It's a 2-year process of writing this.
Oh no, I have it, dude. I already have my plan when I die. Like if I die abruptly, that's one thing. I don't want to die that way. But if somebody said you're gonna die in 4 months, right? Oh, you should see. I'll get my revenge. That's another thing. Here's another thing.
Vengeful?
No, revenge fantasies.
Oh. I mean, that's part and parcel of being a sore winner.
I know, but it's like I had to stop doing it. Because I would lay in bed and go, this is what I would do to Neal, if I made it.
You know what I call it?
What?
Call it prevenge.
Yeah.
Revenge fantasies for things that they haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And you're already
doing
retaliating
the revenge.
on a thing that they didn't do.
Yeah.
Why do you think we do that?
I don't know, man. Like this is so funny because, all right, I'm going to tell you something. So when I was an open micer in San Diego, right? You know Darren Carter, the party starter?
Party starter.
So
I used to call myself Party End and Neal Brennan.
Right. But Darren Carter, 1995, in 1995, Darren Carter, the party starter, was a doorman at the La Jolla Comedy Store, right? And I was an open micer, and one day he goes, "Hey man, so there's a show Friday night, you know what I mean, at a coffee shop. Maybe if I can try to get you in." I go, "I'll meet you there." I meet him at the coffee shop. So there's this guy that runs a show. I want to say his name so bad. I will. His name was Scott.
Great.
And then Darren goes up to, "Hey, Bobby's funny, right?" And Scott goes, "Yeah, you do comedy?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, you'll have to showcase." It was an open mic, by the way. Because you have to showcase. I go, "Do I go up now?" He goes, "No, after the show." He brings me to the parking lot. He leans against his car, and he makes me do my set. I'm an open micer, mind you, in the parking lot. It was so humiliating.
Whatever you got planned, I want to be a part of it.
Already did it.
Great.
So many, many years later, this is probably maybe 5 years ago, whenever Paulie's sister died, Sandy. So I knew that dude would be at Sandy's. I knew that dude would be at Sandy's comedy store like night or whatever. What do you call it? Awake.
Yeah, comedy store night.
Comedy store. Yeah. And I knew he would be there. So I told Kalila, I go, "Get a tan and look as hot as fucking possible." We did a whole outfit thing where I wore like shades. You know what I mean? I had my fucking brand new fucking golden goose on. I looked dope, bro. And I remember holding hands with Kalila. Kalila looked as hot as she's ever looked. And I saw the dude at the bar. And I don't know, in my mind, I could have read it wrong, but I remember him glancing over and looking at me. He never said anything. He didn't say hello or anything. But I felt okay with that.
As a prevenger.
That sounds so gross that I even did that.
No, it's great.
That does sound gross?
No. I mean, there are people.
How do you live then? I had to do it.
You know what we do on this show?
What?
We shame.
That's what I'm doing, shaming.
Yeah, we're shaming shame. We're shaming our own shame.
Yeah. I'm shaming.
Take your shame and shame it.
All right.
Shame.
All right. You've never done anything like that?
Bobby, I've never told a girlfriend to get a tan, but I'll tell you, here's how dumb most of our fantasies are.
Yeah.
After Half Baked, I was supposed to write a movie with Jim Brewer and Tracy Morgan. I was writing a movie with Jim Brewer and Tracy Morgan. And I'm 23, 24, movie's not out yet. I'm writing a movie. And I'm right with Brewer and Tracy. It's not going great. I'm sort of like I'm just being shitty. I'm probably not that good a writer, whatever. Brewer gets me fired. Okay? This is in 1998.
I love it.
So this happens in 1998. This is the first time I've been fired. Half Baked didn't do well. I'm like reeling. Am I going to be able to be a writer without Dave? Like reeling from this, spinning out. And I end up writing with the other, whatever. That part is fine. But I'm fucking furious with Brewer.
Right.
Like, fuck him forever. Right?
Yeah.
In Montreal, where most horrible things happen. This is 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
Which is 17 years later, 16, whatever.
Yeah.
Brewer did Chappelle's show one time, and I was just kind of like, sort of tight.
Right.
And then I see him at Montreal.
Yeah.
And I'm on an elevator with him. I'm tight. I see Tom Papa later that day, and he's like, "Hey, you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "I saw Brewer, and he said you were really tight with him. You just got tight on the elevator." And I was like, "Yeah, of course I'd be tight."
Yeah.
So, and he's like, "Well, why don't you he's like, talk to him. It's Brewer. Like, you've known him forever. Whatever." And so I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I'll talk to him." And I go talk to him, and I go, he's like, "Why were you so tight?" And I was like, or why were you so cold? And I was like, "Brewer, you got me fired from a movie."
Yeah.
In 1998. Like, it was a huge a Universal Studios movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, I did? I was like, yeah. And he's like, I have no memory of that whatsoever. So I'm playing out this revenge fantasy.
Still, the revenge needed to happen. Just because he didn't remember, you had to fulfill your destiny. All right, I'm on your side on this. You should have been cold, and that you did the right thing.
I don't think you learned the right lesson from this, Bobby.
It doesn't matter. I'm on your side on that. He needs to pay.
You are 100% Korean. Because this just got real Korean.
Just because he forgot?
But my point is, I'm like defined by a thing.
It's like if Hitler forgot he killed 6 million Jews. I don't care. You did it.
That wasn't even an issue. Like, he doesn't even remember doing. I immediately beyond forgave him. I just saw it as like the stupidity of me, like the amount of bile that's being created in my body.
No.
You think it's worthwhile?
It was so worthwhile. Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad you had the conversation later, but I don't know how long that took, maybe a day or whatever before the elevator and you actually talked to him. How long was that?
A day, maybe.
Maybe a day, right?
Yeah.
That day, he deserved that day.
I don't think
he did.
Cared.
No, he did, because he's like, how come you were cold? Because if Tom Papa, listen to look at my animal. You're in an elevator, right? If a random, not that Tom's random, but if a guy observes the coldness, that means
Brewer told him about it.
Oh, so he wasn't in the elevator.
No, Brewer was like, Neal was. So he noticed.
So if Brewer noticed, right? I respect you, man.
That was what about the idea that like maybe he was right to fire me or get me fired? To your thing of like not having me on the podcast because I wasn't a good podcast. You know what I mean? Like to me, and this is I just saw.
No, that's not right.
Okay,
because
what should he have done?
That's not
if he didn't like it. If he didn't like working with me.
You're Neal Brennan.
I wasn't then,
but you were always. We forget about that. We forget about that. You listen, okay? Not Spider-Man, because he got bit by the spider, so he wasn't always Spider-Man, right? Mm-hmm. But Superman was always Superman.
Right.
Even as a kid. Don't fuck with him. He wasn't wearing the cape. He didn't have the fucking thing. You didn't even know who he was, right? But, you know what I mean? Don't fuck with Superman. You have every right to be mad. You're a human being, dude.
Yeah.
And your feelings are your feelings.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you want to be cold to a dude, be cold to the dude.
And this is recovered.
What?
This is Bobby's recovery. No, you're right, though. I was allowed. I should have been hurt. I should have been mad. I should have been
a sinister dude, bro.
No, I know you're not sinister.
Right? But I'm saying, like, I'll be honest, there was a guy at Mad TV who was a producer, and he would outwardly say that he doesn't think I'm funny.
Right. In front of you almost?
Yeah. And you could tell that he didn't write for me or anything like that, right? And didn't campaign for me. And then over the couple of years, I was kind of just weird with the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't. In fact, I talked about him in a magazine. He got mad because I mentioned his name on a magazine or whatever. And then 4 years later, he was writing for me. Great shit. You know what I mean? We became friends. I love the guy. But my point is that I had every right to fucking feel the way I felt.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
And you had every right to be mad at him.
Yep.
Thank you.
Maybe we do the logo.